Ah, bollocks.
Alright guys, welcome to another video. This is a bit of a left field type video. All will be revealed in a few seconds. Every now and again you come across a game or a bit of a game and it just kinda, you think to yourself, how the bloody hell did they do that? How was that possible? You know, bearing in mind the hardware. And I've had a few of these moments in my life with video games where you just, I'm not sort of talking so much about the game as a good game. It might not be a good game, but sometimes you see something in a game and you just think, how the hell did the programmer actually manage to get that working? So I've just kind of thought about a few games that I've seen in the past, and it's just like, wow, that is incredible. So the very first game, and you need to bear with me, I'm kind of looking at the screen here as well. The first game is an iconic one. It is 3D Monster Maze on the ZX81. Let's take a wee look at it.
Bearing in mind the hardware that this was running on, this is incredible. I mean, it is a true 3D game, and you know, it's actually pretty damn scary playing the thing. It just tells you exactly where the Rex is. You know, you're trying to get away from him. Just absolutely awesome stuff. Here he comes. It's game over. Brilliant.
Right, this next game, it's programmed by a chap called Alec Herbert. Now, it is on the Vectrex. Now, when I actually bought this game, it was released as a sort of homebrew. I bought it, and my jaw literally hit the floor when I saw it. If you've never seen a Vectrex, you might not really understand the impact of this game, but you know, the Vectrex was a machine released in sort of the early 80s. It had, I think, 4K of memory. The graphics, it's vector based, and obviously the graphics are quite simplistic. And how this guy actually got this game to run on a Vectrex, I will never ever know. The sound is just almost spot on. The graphics, the graphics are arcade perfect. This is probably the most impressive looking Space Invaders, the most authentic arcade perfect Space Invaders game I have ever seen, and I've seen a lot. So this is yet another Space Invaders, and this is on the Vectrex.
Now the speech you get here, you do need a little device for the Vectrex. Now this is actually running under a Vectrex emulator, but I can assure you it looks just identical on the Vectrex. How Alec Herbert managed to get a sprite-based game like Space Invaders running on a vector-based system, I will never know. And as I've mentioned before, this is the most accurate version of Space Invaders outside the arcade that I have ever played. Just mind blowing. He also did a Defender clone called Protector, which is again outside the actual arcade cab. It's probably the most competent version of Defender I've ever played. Just absolute awesome stuff, and you've really got to see this to believe it. Mental.
Right, this next one, it's not a full game that I'm impressed with. It is two events in this one particular game. Now this game is Summer Games 2 on the Commodore 64, released by Epix. Now the two events in question, the first one is the triple jump, and the second one, well, I'll talk about the triple jump first. Obviously it's a triple jump, but the animation of this guy is just absolutely incredible. I mean, the C64 has always been renowned for kind of blocky graphics, you know, and it is, a lot of the games are quite blocky looking. How Epix managed to get the detail in this little guy is just absolutely flabbergasting. It really is. And then when he does actually complete his jump, you see him looking up to the big video screen, and you get a very, albeit basic looking action replay, but this is just incredible. You know, this event absolutely just blew my mind. The second event is the high jump, Again, it's the same, you know, fluid animation, and as you see him jumping over the pole, how that is even possible on an 8-bit machine like the Commodore 64, I will never ever know, but I just couldn't believe it when I saw these games. So this is Summer Games 2 by Epix, and it's the triple jump and the high jump.
I can't sort of put over just how mind blowing this was back in 1984-85. You know, all on a little Commodore 64, just incredible. You look at the animation there, just absolutely fantastic.
Right, the next game, which is a very, very, very popular game. It's renowned by many to be probably the best bit of programming on the ZX Spectrum, and it is Chase HQ. You've probably seen it, but it's when you actually play the game, it's a phenomenal achievement. You know, the arcade game, don't know how much memory it had, but to to manage to shoehorn an arcade game in to a machine that's got 48k, I mean, there's probably not even 48k left of available memory. By the time you take off the video memory and that kind of stuff, you're probably talking more 30k. Um, you know, watch the video, you can see the movement of the car, the way the road actually turns and twists, and you've got the bumps and rises, and it's just an absolutely phenomenal bit of coding on the Spectrum. So this is Chase HQ. This was released by Ocean.
As I've mentioned before, I was never a big fan of the Spectrum, but in the last few years I've really learned to love it for what it is, and this game is incredible. You know, if I was to show you the arcade one side by side with this, you would just be, you know, yeah, it's, apart from the colour, it's such a brilliant version. It's absolutely head and shoulders above any other home version. Possibly the PC engine, but then you know what, that's infinitely more powerful. But you know, how the guy managed to get the roads scrolling so well, the ups and downs, the hills. When you look at the speed of the thing, you've got objects flying all over the place. It's just a brilliant piece of programming.
Right, this next bit of coding which blew my mind. Again, it's on the C64 and it is by Access Software. It was one of the levels out of a sequel to Beachhead. It was Beachhead 2, and this particular level is you've got to drop off your soldiers behind enemy lines, and then they have to make their way, they basically hide behind a wall, and they've then got to make their way forwards to try and destroy the base. Now, it's this little bit here, when the soldiers reach the second wall, the animation for these wee guys as they run out and climb over the wall is just mind-blowing. You know, look at the detail in the graphics. The graphics are absolutely minute, but they nailed animation. I just didn't think something like that would ever be possible on the Commodore 64. So this is it here. This is one of the levels out of Beachhead 2, and this was released by Access Software.
I mean, listen to that sound as well. I didn't even mention the sound as the graphics. Look at the graphics as the guy clambers over the wall. The smoothness, the animation, even the little detail of the guys. It's brilliant. I don't think we'll ever see manufacturers or publishers pushing hardware the same way as the 8-bit machines were pushed back in the day. You know, to get something like this out of a C64, it just blows my mind big style.
Right, this next one, it's another ZX81 game, and it's a fairly recent game actually. It was programmed by my mate Jim Bagley. Now, Jim is a very, very prolific programmer on the Amstrad, or more commonly the Spectrum. But Jim's one of these guys, if somebody tells him something isn't possible programming wise, he just goes and does it. And this is exactly what he's done with this. He he's come up with a game which is very, very similar to Super Sprint. Now this is running, it's on a 16K ZX81, but just look at how fluid it is. You really need to play the game. The gameplay is super tight, it's very, very responsive. Graphics, I mean the graphics are basic, but it's like high res and it just moves so well. The control of the car is phenomenal. There's about 3 or 4, I think there's more than that, there's maybe about half a dozen tracks as well. This is Jim Bagley Racing, and this is on a ZX81. You need to remember, guys, look at 99% of the games in the ZX81, and they were absolutely pish, you know, because the hardware, apparently, the ZX81 didn't have enough processing power to actually display in real time on the screen. So when it updated the graphics, it had to blank the screen. That's the kind of hardware that Jim was working with, and he's got a game like Super Sprint here running fantastically. It's a really, really good game. So this is Jim Bagley Racing, and this is on the ZX81.
Now you do have a choice of tracks. Obviously being a ZX81 there's no sound at all. But you know, look at the detail in that little car. Look at the way the car power slides around the corners. Now you need to excuse my absolutely pish gameplay. It's super sensitive, but Jim has assured me that he's managed to, you know, there's various sort of games and he's managed to get really good scores in it. So it's one of these games. Obviously, practice reaps rewards, but you know, we're talking about ZX81 here, guys. You know, you need to appreciate that. It's just mental. I'm stuck in the wall a wee bit here. Yeah, let's get going again. But yeah, there's a choice. I think 6 tracks as well. You know, absolutely incredible gaming, not gaming skills, incredible programming by Mr. Bagley.
Right, the next couple of games, it's not so much the graphics. I mean, the graphics are very, very nice. In fact, the graphics are excellent. It's not the graphics that got me by the walls, it is the sound. Now, both of these games are on the Commodore 64, probably no surprise here. I mean, the SID chip was a fantastic, chip, really was. But the first sound is, it's a game released by, I think it's Epix again, Impossible Mission. Like I says, the graphics are phenomenal, but when the game first loads, you get this intro and it's speech. Now this was just incredible. You know, we take for granted now having, it's not digitised speech, we take for granted having perfect sound. This is 1984. This is on an 8-bit computer, Commodore 64. Just listen to this. This is a guy, he's meant to be like a mad professor. They've even got the accent and everything. I don't know how they've done it. I mean, it's obviously been digitised, but it's absolutely phenomenal. So this is the very, very start of Impossible Mission, and this is on the C64.
Another visitor. Stay a while. Stay forever.
Right, the next sound bite. Again, it's the sound that is just incredible. Now this is probably I would say it's my favourite sound effect on the Commodore 64. Now I have mentioned it before in the past, I can't remember what video I mentioned it. It's a game called World Games, again by Epix. You can probably see a bit of a pattern forming here. I don't know what kind of programmers they had, but it's World Games and it's one event in particular, and again it's not the graphics, although the graphics are nice, it is the sound. Now World Games featured different events throughout the world, and one of them was my home country, Scotland, and it's the bagpipes. Now when you start the bagpipe event, you get bagpipe music, and it is just absolutely on the money. It is spot on, it is so bagpipe-like, it is unbelievable how they managed to program the C64 to make this little sound effect. It's just phenomenal. So here you go, this is the bagpipes, and this is in World Games, and it's on the C64. Right, okay, second from last game. This game I'm going to let you see. This was actually it was featured by Paul Jenkinson on the Spectrum Show, which is an absolutely brilliant YouTube channel. Go and check it out. But this game, he featured it, and when I saw the game, I wanted to download it. I thought it looked incredible. But then when I actually realised how the game was programmed and what it was doing, it just blew my mind. This game here, it's basically like pole position. The big thing is, it is running in 4K of memory. Yep, not 48K, 4, which is 4,000 characters, 4,000 bytes. This guy has managed to program, quite simply, the best looking 8-bit pole position clone I have ever seen. I think there's only the one track, obviously bearing in mind the music, but not the music, the amount of code. But just look how fluid it is. You've got roadside obstacles coming towards you. Look at the detail in the car, the animation in the car. Look how smooth that road is. You've also got some nice kind of a mountain backdrop as well. It's just absolutely phenomenal. It is the best looking 8-bit driving game I have seen, and it's in 4K of memory. So this is 4K racing, and this is on the Spectrum.
Yeah, this is in 4K of memory. This is mind blowing. I mean, when I saw this video on Paul Jenkinson's channel, I just thought it looked super impressive. Not realising how it was programmed, I thought, that looks amazing for a Spectrum game. And then when I actually came to learn, that it was actually written as part of a competition, a 4K competition. You'd expect something like Hangman or some really basic kind of graphic game, but this is just fantastic. You put this up against any full price driving game, and I'll bet you maybe outside of a Chase HQ, it's probably going to kick most other games' arses. I mean, even the explosion there as well, just phenomenal.
Right, okay, I thought I would save the best till last. Now, I've got to apologise, firstly. I have had to borrow the video footage of this game from somebody else, but the guy obviously filmed it using a phone, and it's kind of all over the place, so it's not a really good indication of just how good it is. But this game was a very, very unique game released in arcades. Unique because it was released on Laserdisc, which use these huge big sort of silver discs, like giant CDs. Now, it came out, I don't know when it came out exactly, early 80s I think it was, but it was like a real life cartoon. Yep, there wasn't a lot of gameplay, but the graphics, because they were hand-drawn cartoons, it just looked amazing. It's Dragon's Lair. Now, this, what makes this incredible is my friend Jim Bagley, who I mentioned earlier, he was talking to one of his mates, and the guy mentioned about how it would be impossible to get a screenshot of Dragon Lair on the ZX81. So Jim being Jim went away, and he didn't just manage to port a screenshot of Dragon's Lair to the ZX81, he ported the whole damned arcade machine across the ZX81. Now what he's done is he's used, I think it's 16K of memory, I think it is, but he's managed to download all the code onto an SD card, and then he uses the SD card to stream the data across the ZX81. But the footage you're about to see, and as I said, it's not very good quality. This is the Dragon's Lair arcade game running on a ZX81. That is just absolutely mental. So anyway, enjoy.
As I said, I do apologise about the sort of the poor quality, but I did kindly borrow this video footage from somebody else, and I have credited the guy below. I did actually speak to Jim yesterday about the possibility of actually running this for myself, and he was going to send me over some files so I could run this myself, but he's not done it yet, and I did want to get this video out today. But yeah, hopefully you can see enough to just realise, that is Dragon's Lair running on a ZX81. Mental stuff. But it just goes to show, what is possible. Thing is, this wouldn't have been possible back in the day because there was no such thing as SD cards. But Jim's making use of current technology to then enhance what is possible out of older machines. But yeah, mental stuff.
Yeah, that is it. I dare say I could think of another 10, 15, 20 games that just blow my mind. But like I said, guys, this was not about good games. It was about code that I have seen. And I just think, how the hell did they manage that? Don't know. So anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed watching it. As usual, please feel free to like, comment and subscribe. And lastly, thanks very much for watching.